Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Other Choice podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany, and today my guest is Lacey Hession, and she is the My Gen Leads coordinator from Right to Life in Michigan.
Hello, it's so good to be here today.
Yes, thanks so much for being on this episode. I'm really excited for everything we're going to be talking about My Gen Leads, and yeah, just some other fun questions and fun topics we're going to talk about.
It's going to be a great podcast.
Yes, it'll be a great conversation. Could you just tell us a little bit about your position here at Right to Life as the My Gen Leads coordinator, and just describe some of the work that you've gotten to do so far?
Yeah, so I am the Youth and Young Adult Outreach Coordinator for Right to Life of Michigan with our My Gen Leads department. And with that, I've been able to engage with a lot of our young adults throughout Michigan and also our affiliates throughout Michigan as well. So currently, we just launched this past September internship program, and we're also hosting for the first time our spring summit in February. It's in the southwest area of Michigan, and it'll be February 28th. So we're really excited for that. It's just going to be a lot of leadership development. And those are really two big milestones to kind of get our students involved. And we, within our efforts, have reached about 2,064 students. And within that result, we actually have established 3 My Gen Leads groups. And there's about 50 students within those groups. And so they're being able to kind of go out and volunteer. And they determine what they're going to do throughout the year, so it's really fun to work with them and see how much they've grown throughout the years as well. And even within our March, we're having 300 students there at the March for Life. So we're really excited and thrilled for what has came of My Gen Leads and what's to come in the future.
That is so amazing. You said 2,046?
2,064.
Or 64. 2,064 students that you've reached. Is that just in the time that you've been working here since you started?
No, so that is within the time of My Gen Leads altogether. So,
okay, gotcha. Yeah. And then all of these My Gen Leads groups that you're starting, are those all comprised of students?
Yep, so they're all comprised of high school or college students. With our internship, we've actually collabed with 6 different colleges. And so we're hoping that with that, that can actually grow even more My Gen Leads groups on our college campuses, because currently it's only in high schools. So we want to focus more on getting the college universities involved, especially with everything that's happened with the Charlie Kirk. I feel like it's kind of brought up a revival and just made our students, our young adults, want to be bold in their voice and their passions. So we're going to help them do that.
Of course, yeah. And that's such an important movement, especially in today. Like, you're reaching children on campuses and, like you said, high school campuses right now and college campuses, that we want to continue that outreach because the education system feeds a lot of biased information sometimes, and we want to make sure that they have a truthful and just trustworthy source where they can just feel loved, and they can be told that if they're in a situation where they're having an unplanned pregnancy, there is an option for them to be able to choose life. It's so important. What would you say is the most important part about reaching young people, especially right now with everything going on?
I would say that awareness. A lot of the times students just are not familiar with even that you can have an abortion on 9 months of pregnancy in Michigan. I was just recently at Western Michigan University, and I had asked every single student, and each student had the same exact answer. They had no clue, and each student also, no matter what side they were on, just was disgusted by that. So that was like a really encouraging thing for me, because I'm like, that's where we can find that common ground and know, yep, this should not be happening all 9 months. So, let alone at all. But we can start with the all 9 months. And so that's something that I've been really excited to pursue and just further that awareness and education in any way that we can. And in order to do that, we actually just added on a high school ambassador. Her name's Natalie, and she'll be going into high schools and bringing some presentations to those students and have that engaging peer-to-peer influence so that we're able to kind of bring awareness and educate our students in any way that we can.
So when you go to these schools and you're talking to these students, you said the 9 months thing is something that you can find common ground on. Is that a specific thing that you kind of lead with when you're introducing the topic, or are there certain things that you bring up to discuss with students?
Yeah, so most of the time that's actually my first question because I most likely know their answer. So already finding that common ground is really important, no matter if you are pro-abortion or pro-life. And then we kind of go from there and ask like, well, how, not necessarily how, but like, what makes that, like, how does that make you feel, and where is that line drawn? So with some students, they have a specific line that they're like, this is when a life begins, and so we just kind of have that conversation with the opposition side, and it's really interesting because there is that inclination of just wondering, and never it's really nice to even just engage with students who are very respectful, either side that they're on. I had a very long debate with a few students. It was 3 students who were really interested in the topic, and they knew they were coming up to me, and they knew that they're on the opposing side, and so I just was asking them questions and letting them kind of debate me a little bit, and we did not come to a conclusion, and I kind of knew that from the start because they were very definite on where they stood, but they were very appreciative of just being willing to talk and have that open, respectful communication. And that's what Life the Other Choice is having that hope-filled, encouraging standpoint and coming alongside our women who are just experiencing those unplanned pregnancies.
Yes. And if any of you viewing as well, with all that information, if you would like any resources that can just give you some guidance on how to speak with people who may be dealing with an unplanned pregnancy or maybe going through that situation, on our website at rtl.org, it's actually back on the sign, you can head over there, and we have so many resources. We have articles and videos that can kind of guide you through that process of bringing up that conversation. And yeah, just some language you can use that is welcoming and just loving and open to people either in the pro-life movement or not in the pro-life movement.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about your personal journey and how you got involved in the pro-life movement and what really led you to want to work here at Right to Life?
Yeah, so I actually moved over to the west side for college. And my family is very pro-life, has always been pro-life, definitely in the home, but not necessarily outside of the home. So we didn't really do any volunteering or going to any of the marches or anything like that, but we would talk about it in the home, and I knew where I stood, and I could talk to anyone about it. But once I got to college, it was really different because I didn't have that specific mindset surrounding me. So I was able to kind of just address that with other people and kind of bring my voice to light with people who didn't really necessarily agree with me. And there was one class that I was in. It was my first nonprofit administration class I was ever in. And I had an opposing side of some pro-life aspects that our professor was talking to us about. And so I was like, I'm not one to keep my mouth shut, so I like to kind of just address things that are not necessarily what everyone else believes. So I was able to do that, and I was just really encouraged by my professor afterwards. He pulled me aside and just thanked me because he hadn't had a conversation between the two sides in a very long time. And that kind of brought a spark in me, and I was like, I wonder if this is a passion that I could use. I also just have a very strong faith background, and I believe that the sanctity of life is so important. And with those two things, I was just praying one day and went on Indeed and found Right to Life of Michigan and their My Gen Leads coordinator position, and I was like, oh, this sounds perfect. Like, it was just laid in my lap, and here we are, and I'm so happy that I've been here for about 7 months, so it's been really great. It's been a great experience, yeah.
That is such a cool story. It's funny how similar our stories are, I feel like, because what you just described is kind of the same thing that I had too. I also grew up in a Christian household, and I didn't have any interactions with people of opposing opinions until I got to college. So, like you said, defending your beliefs and your faith too is really, it becomes stronger in college and when you're just out in the world and you're having those experiences. So I completely agree with you there. And then you said on Indeed, you found the job listing. I did too. I found the job listing for the content contributor and event coordinator, and I just felt a little nudge from God and a calling to come work here at Right to Life. So yeah, it's so fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's so fun hearing how everyone is led to work here. So diving into a more personal, just fun question. I want to know, are you team beach vacation or mountain hike vacation?
This is such a hard question for me because I'm both.
Okay.
And to be able to decide one or the other. So growing up, my family was always a hiking family.
Yeah.
So we would go all over all the national parks, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I mean, who doesn't love seeing God's beautiful creation?
Yeah.
For the first time ever, I went on my honeymoon, and I did nothing other than lay on the beach. And man, was that amazing. I was like, oh, maybe I am a beach girly. I don't know. So, I don't know. I don't think I can choose one.
Okay.
I definitely, because I've grown up with the hiking, I do love doing that. Maybe a little bit more.
Okay.
But it also depends on, like, if my mindset is, oh, I need to go explore, or this is just a relaxing vacation. I think that makes it different, too. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I think in Michigan, we have more beach experiences because we're surrounded by lakes, so that kind of determines that. But yeah, so I would say personally I'm more of a beach girly, but I do love hiking. I haven't actually gone on an official mountain hike.
Oh
and
my
I
goodness.
need to experience
you need to
it
go
yet.
to Utah, Bryce Canyon, Zion National Park. They're amazing.
I need to go to a lot of national parks. Yeah, that's all on my bucket list. But the most hiking that I've done is like
Local.
Mount Pisgah in Holland, which isn't really a hike. That's more of climbing a hill and then
Going
looking
for a walk.
Yeah, it's going for a walk. But yeah, I like that. So I'm sure I'd like mountain hiking too.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm not a camp girly though, so please don't correlate the two.
Okay. Not an outdoor camp.
I'm definitely like, I will go hiking. I'm an outdoorsy person, but I'm not gonna spend the night in a tent.
What if it was like a trailer?
I could do a trailer. That's
okay. Just
like
not tent on the ground.
What is it, glamping? I could glamp.
Glamp.
I would not be able to camp in a tent.
We go glamping. That's what we do. We should have a Right to Life glamping excursion.
Leadership bonding. I think it would be good.
Yeah, I think it'd be great. So back on the topic of My Gen Leads, what is the thing that you look forward to most getting to work with students, whether that be high school or college?
So I would honestly say their spark. The younger generation just has very much of a energized, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just their energy is so strong, and the ideas that they bring to the table is amazing. And so unique to what we've ever experienced so far. And so I really just love the passion that they bring. And we've been here in the pro-life movement for a very long time, and to see that energy and the strong energy of them wanting to make a difference. And when you find a student that's passionate, they will not let go. They will pursue and pursue forward until they know that they're not even until they know they're making a difference. They will continue until they're the president of Right to Life. Like, they will just do everything that they can, and it's really fun to just kind of see that and to see the passion behind each of the students, because I feel like that was me when I was younger. So just like with my Christianity, I was so passionate about it. I'm still passionate about it, and like to see different ways that the students even bring up different volunteer ideas. Like one of our My Gen Leads groups created they called it a dresser drive.
Oh.
So they just got to collab together and filled a huge dresser that they thrifted, and they just put a whole bunch of different things inside of it, and they donated it to one of our pregnancy resource centers, and one of our mothers got a brand new dresser and baby clothes and everything else like that. So just like all the resources that they're providing for these women who maybe don't have everything that they need to have a baby, and it's just really encouraging. And if you tell them like, hey, I think that you should think of a more creative way to go about this, they're on it. They'll give you more ideas than you ever thought that they would give you. So it's really fun to work with them and see what they're all about and see what they're up to. And I feel like every time I'm contacting them, they're always like, oh, this is what we're doing and this is what we're doing. I'm like, that's awesome, guys.
That's great.
You're doing great.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. It's so fun seeing the creativity behind younger people who are in the pro-life movement, because I feel like the farther down the generations go who are also active in this work, they are familiar with other ways of how to reach people that are their peers in that or their own age. So like you said, yeah, it's really fun. Yeah, just seeing that creativity and seeing how it evolves and how our work can continue to reach people.
Yeah.
What are some challenges that you see facing the pro-life generation today, especially the younger generation, and what advice do you give them to navigate that?
Yeah, one challenge that I very much see everywhere is the aspect of not having men involved. A lot of our male young adults just don't think they have a say. And that's just not true. And that is something that I have just been able to kind of advocate for, even going to colleges, because that is exactly what the men will say is, well, that's just not a decision for me. And I asked them, what if you're the father of the child? Why don't you get a say? This is part you as well. And so just having those conversations and addressing that they are as much valuable as the baby, as the mother, and they should be able to put in their word for it too. So it's just really important, even for advocating for the pro-life movement, having our men there. Our men are supposed to be our leaders. And in our faith, we want to look up to our men. And so being able to look up to them in that way and to strive toward the pro-life movement in a different way of, it's not just about the women, it's about our families, it's about our babies, but it's fully about our women because they are the ones making the decision. So how can the men just come alongside them as well and support them, and also be able to address the realities of our lives. So that's something that's really important that I think needs to just kind of be brought to light, because our men are important too. So,
yes.
And they should be part of our pro-life movement.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you. Have you had an experience that comes to mind that really stood out to you, that you've talked with either a young father or a young mother about that topic specifically?
Yeah, so I can think of quite a few, so I'm trying to figure out which one. There was one student who came up to me, and he actually thanked me for being there. So it was really sweet to just have that little bit of encouragement. And I asked him, like, if he did anything with the pro-life movement, and he just said that he doesn't feel like that's something that he can do. Yeah. And so we just kind of had a very long conversation, and I was just asking, like, why does he think that? Why is that something that he doesn't feel like he's even should be involved in? And he explained to me that he is very pro-life, but it's just something that he knows that the woman experiences so much within a pregnancy, And he, even just watching, he's an older sibling, so watching his mother go through it, he's like, I would never want to force someone on that if that's something that they didn't want in the first place. And so I was just kind of talking to him and just kind of getting his just perspective of things, and just encouraging him that he as much as the woman has a choice in the matter, he can come alongside that woman as well. So being able to use his boldness and what he believes in such a positive way, and he just came out, like, he walked out of the conversation with so much encouragement, and I could just see in his face, he was just smiling away, and he just thanked me again. And I'm like, I asked him, I'm like, why are you thanking me for being here? Just wondering. And it was right after the Charlie Kirk assassination, and he said, I just didn't think anyone would still do this. So it was really sweet to really hear, and I was like, this is something that Charlie would want us to be doing. And he's like, I full-heartedly agree. So hopefully he's out there doing it too now.
Yes.
That's only what we can pray for.
That's an amazing story. I love that. And just to hear how hearts have changed, and how that whole situation with Charlie Kirk and everything has really just impacted our younger generation, and how that's tying into our work as well, because Charlie Kirk was very pro-life and never backed down from standing up for unborn children. So,
and his audience was the young adults, was the college students. So we are surrounded by so many students that were in heartbreak because of that. So and then now they just want to have a revival and want to do something about it. So it's really cool to see that.
Yeah, and that's so important to us too, to continue the revival that has been started and has been going on for several years, and that's what the My Gen Leads program is about. It's about continuing that pro-life movement with our young people. Another fun question, like before, because we talked about beaches and hiking, I want to know, what is something that's on your bucket list that you haven't done yet that you are like, I have to do this?
Okay, this is going to be sentimental, so are you ready?
Okay.
I bet you weren't expecting this.
No.
So when I was in second grade, my school raised a whole bunch of money for a school in Ghana. And so we were able to raise enough to build a whole school for these Ghana children. And I've always wanted to go see it. So that is something that has been on my bucket list. And I've had the opportunity to go to South Africa, to Mexico, to Guatemala. Ghana's my next place I need to go to. So I'm really hopeful and excited that I will be able to get to see it, because I don't know, it's always just had like a really near and dear just side of my heart. I'm like, I just want, not because obviously the students that were there when we actually helped build it were our age, so they were definitely a lot older, but to be able to see the students now and enjoying what we were able to raise and create for them, like that, it was just really cool. So I would love to go see that.
How special. That would be so cool if you ran into like the people who were students
at
that school and talk with them, and they're your age, and all adults. That would be so fun. My goodness. Well, I hope you get to do that.
I hope so
That's
too.
so cool. That's one of the coolest bucket list experiences I've ever heard, I think, from any friends. That is so amazing. So one last question. Looking ahead, what is your biggest hope for the next generation?
There's a lot of hopes. I would say my biggest hope is that the revival continues, and the revival continues even stronger than it's ever been, so that we can pursue the end of abortion. I am wholeheartedly in belief that if this continues, there's going to be a huge movement and things are going to change. And so I'm really hopeful for that. And I know a lot of our students are very hopeful for that too. But in order for that to happen, we need to be able to come alongside our women and to love on our women, to show them that we care and we want to be there for them in any way that we can. So I would love to see even more students come alongside our women in that. So, yeah.
This has been an incredible discussion, and it's been so fun having you on this episode of the podcast to talk about all the amazing work that My Gen Leads is doing.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
And I do have one more little plug. If you are interested in starting a My Gen Leads group, please do not hesitate to email me at lhession@righttolife.org, and I would be happy to help in any way. Or if you're just interested in what we do at My Gen Leads, please contact us because we are always here to help.
Yes, and we also always have more information on our website, again, at rtl.org, so make sure to go check that out. Be sure to tune in every other Friday for a brand new episode of the Other Choice podcast. And until next time, I'm your host, Tiffany, and this is The Other Choice.